Appreciate you taking the time to join. Always a good time catching up. How you been?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
Been good, Canada's Canada. So what can you do?
Canada. Okay.
We're out here though. We're out here though. But we really started this podcast like a couple months back just to connect more hoopers, similar to like how it was when I first met you, just playing basketball, getting together, and then just building, those type of relationships. So like, Dawda is one of my co-founders of this as well. He actually started this. I came along and joined him. Maybe Dawda, I'm not sure if you guys got a chance to get acquainted. Maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself to Ben and y'all can share.
Hi, Ben. My name is Dawda Silva. Born and raised in the Gambia, moved to the U.S. in 2021. Played senior year in high school, moved here. Now playing college basketball. So, yeah.
Where do you live?
I'm in Atlanta right now, but my college is in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then that's a bit about Dawda. And then the rest of our team, they couldn't make it today. But Mustafa, you've met him, you've talked to him a bit. He's the one who runs the Basketball IQ page. And then I'm not sure if you met FJ. She plays for Guinea right now. Eventually, hopefully, we could have a Gambian team. But like,
I've seen her. Like her video
and stuff. Yeah. And we have another member, Rahi. Rahi's based like in Gambia. So we try to get her to like interact with like the youth, some more female players as well. Recently there was a girl, I think Tida Minte, I believe. She had 75 points in a game back home. So, we're trying to get some of those folks in as well. But for today, we thought it made sense to, bring you on just because of like your experience as a player, but the other things that you're involved in as well. And, in this conversation today, we really want to spotlight you, learn about you, and then, be able to transition that into different lessons that like Gambian diaspora and just anybody, whether sports, business, the whole spiel, blackness, whatever it is, can relate to. So I guess, just to kick it off from the beginning, like, who is Ben? Like, I really want to learn a bit about your journey from, I know when I met you, you had recently gotten your Gambian passport a couple years prior. So I'd love to know, like, who's Ben? And then from college basketball, Auburn, Gambia, all that.
Benjamin Njie is my name. I was born in Long Beach, California, or more specifically, Harbor City. Which is in Los Angeles County. My father was born in Ben Njie, Gambia. My mother was born in Memphis, Tennessee, with her roots stemming from Nigeria. Okay. So that is the dynamic in which created me. I went to high school in Atlanta, Georgia, at Benjamin E. Mays High School. From there, just playing basketball in Atlanta was supremely tough at the time. We didn't really know growing up who like we were playing against, like, I mean, I grew up in the era with, Josh Smith, Dwight Howard, Josh Powell, Lou Williams,
Damn, you grew up in an era.
I grew up in a hell of an era. So it was so competitive. There's so many guys that went off to play at like Oak Hill and other places that didn't even make or weren't, well, they made the league, but they weren't like mainstays in the league.
Yeah.
But they were there. We had to like compete. The AAU team that I played with, the Atlanta Celtics.
On that team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
do you know that team, the Atlanta Celtics?
Nah.
That's Jeff Teague and them. That's like Jeff Teague and all.
Everybody knows like the fabled team of
ATL.
Dwight Howard, Josh Smith, Randolph Morris, Lou Will used to play with us, Brandon Rush.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There was just so much talent. So growing up in Atlanta and playing basketball was tough. From there, moving on to Auburn as a walk-on, I decided to go that route because of my Gambian heritage with Mamadou Njie, and him being like larger than life there. So when I took my visit there and, seeing that he had records, block shot records, rebounding records for not just Auburn, but for the SEC in general, it made me want to, go that direction. And Auburn was just a great campus. So that's why I chose going there. Didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. We had some coaching changes my second year there, and didn't really work to my benefit. But I continued to play. I continued to work hard. I got paired up with the starting point guard at the time, which a guy whose name was Eon Young. And I credit him for really showing me what hard work was. Eon was a JUCO, like All-American. So we got him, last 2 years of his eligibility at that time. I know the young kids going to look at this.
They lucky as hell now, man.
Did he only get 2 years? Well, in our day, we couldn't do nothing. So when you played JUCO for 2 years, you only had 2 years left. So he joined the team, and also another NBA guy, Tony Douglas, played with us for 1 year.
Nice.
Before he went to Florida State. So playing against him, and he comes from Atlanta. He was in that era as well. Him and his brother. His brother went off to play in the NFL, but he was good at basketball too.
Oh wow!
So that's another a monster that we had out there. It was just so many guys, but I credit Eon with showing me hard work and what it takes to be a master of your craft. He went on to have a long overseas career, played in some NBA summer leagues, made some, preseason teams. He just never could stick. But he was the guy that really showed me, like, if you want to do this is something you got to work on every day, and not just going in the gym and shooting, but shooting shots you're going to shoot in the game, practicing things you're going to do in the game, and, work on the things that you do well, but also make yourself uncomfortable with things that you don't do well. That if somebody forces you to do this, it's a low percentage that you're going to make a good play or make a basket out of it. So he showed me hard work basically in that manner.
That's what's up.
From Auburn at this time, semi-pro circuits were like avenues to overseas. It's not so much that anymore. Yes. But at this time, semi-pros like ABA, WBA at the time, NWPBL, the UBA. There were so many semi-pro like circuits where they respect it, and they were like, "Oh, if you can go there, you can go here." Mm-hmm. So I started out playing a lot of semi-pro different teams. Played for the Rome Gladiators in Georgia. Played for the West Tennessee Jaguars in Tennessee. Played for the UBA, of course. At the time, it was GIE Molly Matrix. And that kind of got my foot in the door. There was also a big summer pro league in Cartersville, Georgia. Okay. It was called the SEBL, and that was all the pros from Atlanta would come play in this league. So you played in this league, you were a standout. With I believe the guy's name was it David Carter? I can't remember, but there used to be a guy that ran it, and that was a great avenue to get your name out there, and if you're looking to go overseas. So overseas basketball, Saudi Arabia, Belize, Mexico, these are places that I've put my hat in the ring and had some success in. But going from walk on to semi-pro to being a legitimate pro is something that took a lot of hard work. It was something
amazing, man. Amazing.
I put in a lot of time to do. I played probably every position there is.
That's tough.
Yeah.
When I tell people when I was at Auburn, I was a point.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I always had versatility in my game though, because
you could pass, shoot it, bring it up.
High school, I was like a 3 and a 4. So getting to Auburn, they're like, "No, you're here," and I'm like,
Hey, how tall were you? How tall were you?
"I'm 6'4".
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, cool.
in that era,
In that era, you're a big guard. In that era,
and I wasn't a big guard. In
you
that
were
era.
small.
I was a guard, just a guard.
Okay.
All the guards were 6'3". Like everybody was like that. Like if you look in like early 2000s, like you look at Jason Kidd, you look at Gary Payton, you look at Steve Nash,
6'4", 6'4", 6'3".
all of us were this tall. Like there were like the smaller guards were anomalies.
Yeah.
Everybody was 6'3" and up.
Yeah.
So when I get to college, oh no, you're here. unless you had something athletic about you or special,
You are one.
you were one. And
You are one. You bring the ball up. You're gonna run this set.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that.
Yes.
And that's funny though.
That's
You mentioned something a bit earlier. You had mentioned how you played in all these different countries. I didn't know you played in Saudi Arabia actually, but Saudi, Belize, obviously DR. What have these experiences taught you on and off the court? Because I know, like, for those of you that don't know, Ben is also a GM, like a team owner in the DR as well. That's how I met Ben. So we were both playing in the DR. I thought he was just a power forward until I found out he was the damn near CEO. I was like, so I'm like Bill Russell. So that's what I noticed. Like, oh, okay, there's different ways to approach playing basketball overseas, because in North America, you're only really taught a player, a trainer, or a coach. You're not really taught how to own anything. And I think this is like, not to get too philosophical here, but this kind of also goes into like the Black consciousness, where we're always taught to expand all of our external traits, but we're not always taught on like, how can we build for the future? How can we own something and pass it on forward and forward? So my question to you is, you playing in all these other countries, what have these experiences taught you on and off the court? And how have you been able to transition that into like real business opportunities as well?
Well, these countries have taught me, they've given me a specific view of the world, and it will change the more places you travel. So I understood overseas basketball before I went is got to go over there, got to kill, gotta be the man, gotta, just do what I got to do to get to the next opportunity. But traveling there, it was more of, okay, not only do you have to do that, but you got to abide by the rules of the land you go to.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand certain cultural affinities with your teammates, coaches, and you got to understand the landscape that you're in. And basketball is not just basketball.
Oh, God, yes.
Basketball changes depending upon the market in which it's in. So, different styles, different places, refs ref different ways, teams are structured different ways. Like, you go to one market and they say, okay, you can have 2 American players. You're like, all right, cool. You go to another market, you can have 3. Oh, cool. And you go to one market and they'll be like, no, you're the only American player here. And then you go to a market and they'll be like, oh, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you have to look at your team and go, okay, what does everybody do? What should I be doing? Because we're trying to win. Winning is still very much important in overseas basketball. I know, winning isn't always a top priority in the Western world because of, economic implications.
Yeah.
But overseas, oh no, they want to win. Not only to have bragging rights, not only to have, that good feeling of winning, but they want to win because they have divisions. So if you're in a division or a first division and you finish last, you go down to the second division or the B division. And that's less money for sponsorships. That's less money to recruit players. That's less people coming to the game. You losing money, basically. So they're very passionate about winning. Your owner is not going to be some guy in a press box. He's going to be on the floor, passionate, talking to you, wanting to win. So,
or if you play for the Georgia Panthers, he might be your teammate. And if you turn the ball over, you go into the bench.
Guy might put on the jersey. Who knows? So I credit Jermaine Barnes in showing me the business aspect. And for those that don't know, Jermaine Barnes is the owner of the LDC in the Dominican Republic, and basically showed me the blueprint on how to have a team and how to build a team and have these opportunities, because he did it. He owned not only a team, but he owned a league.
Yep.
And he took his league overseas. Yep. And this is the guy that, made it to NBA training camp, but always had the vision of what's next.
Yeah.
What's going on down the line. And I tell him his vision is like a gift from God, because his blueprint in the semi-pro market is what semi-pro teams have copied today. Yeah. And I've seen it from like 10 years ago to now. And I'm like, wow, the market just shifted based on what you did.
And he turned it into like pro opportunities now, because like now he has a certified pro league in the DR. The LDC is like 3rd or 4th division in the DR. And I've seen guys come out of the LDC and go to the NBA, forgot his last name, but his first name is Stanley. He's a big man. And you know what I'm talking about. He went to UNC. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Sterling Matthews.
We got Sterling, because I was actually there when we got Sterling.
Oh, okay.
Sterling was a guy coming out of G League.
Yep.
But he had got some injuries, came over there and dominated. Went over to LMB and dominated, and then got back in the NBA, So Jermaine was instrumental in helping him get, to take those other steps. And, there's a few guys like that, man. There's a few guys that just have been around us and then found themselves in NBA spaces. And
even Glenn Rice, you played with Glenn Rice this summer in the United Pro tournament.
I had no idea that was going to happen.
I was surprised. When I see that, I was like, what? But this kind of shows me, like, going back to the question, which was, what have these experiences taught you on and off the court? Winning is everything. And like, I'm not trying to say, I know we live in a society now where everyone gets participation trophies and whatnot. Right. Winning is everything. Number one.
You have to win.
I think number two, based on what you said, was networking, connections, getting to meet people like JB, getting to understand different cultures, being a global citizen, something all of us here as Africans have to be, because we know when we step into the room, sometimes they may have preconceived notions about us. So, that kind of leads to our next question here, which is, looking back as an African player, what was your biggest challenge trying to make it overseas? Was it trying to get the respect from other guys? Was it, I don't want to be a big man just because I'm a black guy? Because if you're 6'4", 6'5", and you're black, your ass is in the post. like what was
there is a disparity of guards.
If you are dark skinned and 6'5", before you dribble the wing, we are gonna see what you're
like. Hey, what's your vertical? Can you block some shots?
Can you block some shots back? So on that, what was your biggest challenge as an African player trying to make it overseas?
My biggest challenge was just basically the competition was so high in my era.
I see.
And not understanding markets from an early age as a player. The markets, because, you get this grandioso Cliff Notes version of overseas when you first are ending your college career. You're like, man, you just go overseas and make all this money, and you don't have to be in the NBA, but you can make like 100, 200. And it's just not like that. It's not as easy as people make it out to be. It's not as grandiose as people make it out to be. You may be in a country, they don't have that type of budget. They're not a part of the Euro League.
Yep.
And safety. People don't talk about that. You go to a country where there's still conflict, there's war, there's political implications, and they may write you a big check, but now you get there and you worried, am I gonna make it back home? Am I? I don't know if people saw, but Patrick Beverly talked about at a bomb shelter in his hotel. And when they said, if this alarm goes off, you got 30 seconds to get in this room or we locking you out, you know? So these are real things. Like when I was in Saudi, like there's really dangerous implications. Like not only just from like outside threats, but Saudi people drive insane. I thought at some point, listen, they gave me like an international, I had to pass this test to have an international driver's license. And by day 2, I gave it back to the guy. I was like,
they just drive too crazy over there in the middle.
I let them drive because they used to it and they know because I'm in the front seat like, God, hey.
Ben, have you ever driven in Gambia?
Driven? No.
Oh, okay.
If Saudi
Arabia is bad.
No, I'm lying. I have drove in Gambia. I was thinking about Senegal for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Drove in Gambia.
You ever drive by Turntable? If you drive by Turntable, I promise you.
But even that is not as bad as Saudi.
Nah, Turntable is terrible. Turntable,
terrible.
Banjul, driving there.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the way the Saudis drive is unbelievable. Like you would just know that you about to crash, and there's something to happen when you won't. But they drive like Fast and Furious, Dominique Toretto. Like
I feel like
I've been seeing videos like that on Instagram.
Man, I'm telling you, and they just jump out like you know how we do like turning signals. No,
yes.
they just
jump out of you.
You're like, oh my God! Like,
yeah. When I used to live out there in the Middle East too, I've only, thankfully, in my life, I haven't really been in like a car accident before, but I was in one, and it was in the Middle East.
I'm telling you. Listen,
they drive crazy, but it's funny that you say that though, because I feel like the biggest challenge, based on what you're saying here, is adaptability.
You gotta adapt. And you gotta be mentally tough because what I find is players that like haven't traveled or been away from their families or it can crush their spirit overseas. If you start not playing well and then you're in a foreign country and you don't have no friends or you're in a country where English isn't the dominant language, you can feel like you're on an island and you got to really be mentally tough to get through those type of situations. Mm-hmm. Or and have a really solid foundation in whatever you believe in or whatever, you know, is your higher calling. You got to be rooted because you can be in a situation where, you know, you could be alone in a lot of instances. And, you know, you got to have that backbone to be that basically that
I'm that person
ram or that lion and say, I don't care what this is, I'm going to get through this. Because I mean, you got markets like, you know, Russia and Ukraine, and these are tough markets. I mean, like, because people are rude and you know, they may not be very welcoming to you, and you got to be that guy that earn their respect. And I mean, and it could be something so simple as a number. Like you've been wearing whatever number forever. You go over there and the guy that the people love, he wears your number.
You're not wearing that number no more.
You're not wearing that number. or get ready for the confrontation. You know, I've seen people fight over numbers. I'm serious. Like, and I ain't talking about fight. Like I'm talking about they back there. So give me number 12. Like, like I'm telling you, it's those little things we don't think about. Going into someone else's country, someone else's house, someone else's culture, someone else's language, someone else's rules. I mean, and you got to be ready for just open corruption.
Yeah, and I like that because Dauda, you had a similar story about
exactly. I just wanted to jump in and just ask about cultural shock because when I came here, I was with a host family. So first of all, I'm from an African home. You know, you don't look at somebody, especially your mom or dad, when you're talking to them. You can look at them if it's like something fun, friendly conversation. Yeah. But when the conversation is real, they talking to you, you be like this, yes. And when you do that out here, they get pissed off. Especially when I was with a white family, and they don't understand that. Like you don't have to look at an elder.
They're like, why isn't he looking at me?
Why are you not? Exactly.
Look at me when you're not talking to me. Are you paying attention?
Or they be mad and go tell one of their partners like, oh, I think he's rude. He just don't look at me when he's talking to me. I think he's just resentful or something like that.
I remember a story like that I think it was at UNC. I want to say it was Roy Williams,
Okay.
or maybe it was Dean Smith. But there was a guy. I think he was from Senegal because his first name was Babukar.
Okay.
No, his name was Maktar Njie.
Oh, Mukhtar. Yeah,
Matan, yeah.
I know
He plays
exactly
in North
what you're talking about.
Carolina.
So yeah, so when he was there, they had the same issue. He wouldn't look at the coach. And then
Oh,
finally, this
I
coach
heard him
said,
talk about it.
you know, why aren't you looking at me when I'm talking to you? He's like, Coach, in my culture, it's disrespectful to look at like
an older person,
authority figure when they're, you know, scolding you or giving you instruction or whatever. So he sent his assistant coach
I heard the story.
to Senegal
Yeah.
to learn the culture.
Yeah.
So and you know that was for the benefit of him. But you know that speaks to the culture shock of, you know, going to places and things would be different. Like in Saudi, I can't interact
Women.
with the coach's wife.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can't
speak
like
to-
shake their hand, nothing. It's like
no. Like they have to ask permission to say something to me.
yeah.
I kind of got to look at him like, can I respond? You know, this is serious business. Like, you know, and when it comes to women, they don't want us with they women. Like, you know, it's what they say haram. So that's like forbidden. So, you know, it's a something you really got to navigate around. So now I'm in a foreign country. I can't interact with most women I see. So now I'm hoping to meet an American woman somewhere that I can talk to.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And I think this is the thing that I wanted us to touch on, which is the adaptability. One thing I will say, all of us coming from like proud African homes, and this is something I hope continues in the next generation. We've got to teach people that our culture is not the same everywhere, but respect can still be shown. And I think the way, like, even we had a guy on before, Ben, his name was Las. Same kind of situation. Sometimes he'll look down, doesn't want to be disrespectful towards like the coaches and whatnot. And it's like the one thing that I've come to notice is we can still show respect, but as adaptable global citizens, which is why we're creating these podcasts, having these dialogues. So when the next Ben Njie, who's fucking 14 right now, grows up and watches this, he can now learn like, oh, okay, I don't have to be putting my head down to show respect. When I'm in America, I can look up. When I'm in Gambia, I can look down, you know, different things like that. So it's kind of nice to hear that. Now, Ben, it's a bit of a funny question here, but I still want to, you know, get your thoughts. So, you know, you were eligible for the 2006 NBA draft. So did you ever seriously consider trying to enter yourself in there?
No. So this is the thing. And I don't know if it's the same now, but if you're in college, you're in a program, especially a Division I program, at the end of your tenure there, senior year, everyone's automatically eligible.
Yeah.
Everybody can be selected, I should say.
Yeah.
But did I attend any camps or did I petition to try to, you know, go to any pre-draft camps or anything like that? No, I didn't think I did enough or had that type of career. So for me, I was always looking at, you know, well, can I get in this semi-pro team? Can I go overseas? And maybe if I do well there, I can make my way back.
I see.
To, you know, professional NBA standards.
But my question to you then
ain't no way.
My question to you is though, like as an athlete, I'm sure you'll agree to this part. As an athlete, both of us, or all three of us here should agree, we do need some form of rational delusion, right? Like, oh, we're this, we're that. But at the same time, we need realism to know where we can play at. Yeah. How do you manage dealing with those two things? Because as a person who went to a very respected D1 program at Auburn, you know, War Eagle, I think that's their whole little phrase thing, right? War Eagle. I almost said Roll Tide, and I was gonna get.
Oh my God!
I was gonna get stomped out if I said that. War Eagle. My bad. My fault.
Jeez.
But how do you maintain that rational delusion of, yo, I'm going to go as far as I can with the game, but also seeming like being able to, temper yourself and be like, this is the level I need to strive at first. How do you maintain that?
You got to constantly measure yourself against guys that are more successful than you. So that's really for me what summer ball is about. Playing in these pro leagues, because the great thing about pro-ams is you never know who is going to be there.
Like Glenn Rice Jr.
You play, like I show up and last minute JB calls me and said Glenn Rice is playing with us. Glenn Rice Jr. You're like, yeah. So you never know who's going to be there. So constantly going out into these places and playing against top talent and in great leagues, not just leagues you can dominate, but in leagues where they got some guys that, have been further down the road than you.
Yep.
And say, how did I do against him? How did I match up? Was he way faster? Did I feel out of my element? Did I feel helpless? Or did I hold my own? Did I feel like I can have some success? So, just looking at guys like that and playing against them and going and evaluating yourself honestly.
Yeah.
Like, can I
evaluate yourself honestly?
Yeah, you got to be honest with
a lot of players need to really look in the mirror and be honest with how good they are. I really like that you said that.
And people got to understand NBA draft camps ain't something you can pay $200
yes.
show up. No, you have to be invited.
That's why I'm glad you said that too, because that G League tryout stuff, I see a lot of kids let that get to their head. Dawda, I'm not sure if you've seen that before, but
I have seen.
I know you've seen it, Ben. I know you've seen it, Ben.
G League does do that, and
they do. They had it last year. There was a
College Park
here.
Yeah, College Park.
But you gotta pay about like $300 or $250.
And that's the point where I'm so happy we're at this point of the conversation.
Yeah,
it's because you pay $200 doesn't make you a pro, bro. You need pro habits.
You going out? Yeah, there was a D3 player. I forgot his name. He documented all of his journey. I mean, he went to every tryout. Yeah, he went to every tryout. So I was just learning a lot about the process through him, which brings me to this question. Actually, we do have about 7 minutes. So I just wanted to ask about, like, with your experience, what has good networking contributed towards your success or your journey?
Everything.
Great question.
Good networking, having a clean name in this business, having, being relatable, being respectful has opened up so much for you, because even if you can play, if you're an asshole, people take that into account before they sign you. They be like, all right,
yeah,
he's good, but can I get a guy just as good with a better attitude? Do I have to go down this road to get in this net case? Like, I know guys that are great, man, that can get buckets, but the guy be like, oh, if I bring him in, I got to deal with this, I got to deal with that. I don't know. His temperament is crazy. Like, I hear these conversations with GMs and coaches, and they were like, I really like, he's the last guy on this list because of his attitude, not his skill set.
Yeah.
So you gotta have that skill set, but you also gotta have, just being a person they ain't gotta worry about. They ain't gotta worry about you out in the town doing something illegal. Like, all that plays a factor into getting signed. Like, a lot of people now, they don't even just look at your resume when they're about to sign you. They go to your Instagram.
Yeah.
They go to your Facebook. Like, what kind of guy is this? Is he crazy? Is he going to be something to where I'm going to find myself in a situation? So that's important.
Yeah. Is your professionalism speaking for you before you speak for yourself?
Absolutely.
And I think that's definitely something there. Great question, Dawda.
That's what I usually try to tell most of the kids, because most of them just text me, hey, how can I get, recruited? Do you think college coaches or high school coaches would really want me? Some of them, I know who they are. I just try to tell them that, eventually as you grow up, as you become better, you're going to start having some kind of ego. Just don't be too much, like feeling yourself, feeling that you're the best. It's good to have confidence, but don't be too overconfident. Just have good character. At the end of the day, when you get here, that's what going to take you far. You're going to be able to be.
And that's a tenet of African culture, right? We have to have good character. So just bring that with you everywhere you go.
That's
And
right.
and that's exactly why we created this podcast. We want people to use those African roots. Like for example, look at all the trials and tribulations you went through in your career, but you always carried the same spirit, the same attitude, that same like warrior fight in every setting, team, business adventure. And I think that's what we need to continue as Africans. We've been through so much just as Gambian folks, just trying to survive. We need to use those trials and propel ourselves forward. So that kind of leads me. I know we're short on time, but we should be able
Yeah,
to
we
get
got four
a couple
minutes.
of questions. As someone who's seen basketball at different levels globally, how do you assess the talent in Gambia today from what you're able to see
I'm only really able to see it like on Instagram. I really want to go and see it
in person?
real time, because the eye test is something that's heavily relied upon by GM. So I really want to see it in real time. I see it. Guys are definitely athletic. I definitely see that the athleticism is on par. The skill set looks on par, but I need to see it, in its natural habitat. I need to actually go. And I wish I would have known about, platforms like I see now when I was actually there. So I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to lock in and actually go to some games and see, what's really out there. Because, there's a lot of talent in Africa, period. A lot of people just don't know about it. They see the success of Sudan and they think that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's not.
It could happen all over. And that's one of the things we had been talking about last week. We were saying a lot of Africans get pushed as bigs, but our guards don't really get pushed out a lot. And our guards are just as, like, look at Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is no different from any guard that grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Still has the same
My
handle.
brother had to tell me he was Gambian. He was like Gambia.
Same handle, same twitch, same speed. He can shoot it. So it's like if you just gave them training, we could have 100 Dennis Schroeders in like a couple of years, and it's nice to see that at least we're creating some traction there. So just quickly to wrap up here, last two questions. You donated to the first ever overtime tournament that was hosted by IQ Central last year. Why was that important to you to just support the initiative?
It's always important to me to support Gambia in any way I can, because Gambian is my root. My father gave me the greatest gift I could ever have, and that is to be African and to know my African root. Like there's so many people that do not know. They have to do a series of either DNA test or genealogy to try to find out where their African root is. I didn't have to do that because of my father. And that's one of the greatest gifts I ever received. And I'm always looking for different ways to support home. Gambia is a country, we're not at the top of the popularity list, but there's so many beautiful things about Gambia. There's so many beautiful things about our home, our culture, our language, our past, our present, and there's going to be beautiful things about our future. So I felt, I have to do this. I have to support in any way I can.
And this is why we need more Gambians like this. We do. And I guess our last question here, hopefully, I know we have 1 minute left. Hopefully this question.
Yeah, we have 1 minute 30 seconds. Actually, now we do have a great Gambian community here in the US. Most of them came through Spain, but all of them were from the Gambia. So, the goal of this dialogue is also to connect with people like you, Hassan is in Canada. You never know who's going to Canada and play. If they go to Canada, they have Hassan there. So we're trying to make sure that we have this big Gambian community overseas, wherein we can network within ourselves. Whenever we have a kid that is, getting out of high school, I can talk to my coach and be like, hey, this guy is good. We can get him a scholarship. And that's what we're trying to do. So even with overseas, we have this guy, Nuha. He played D1, went to the D1 school closed and went to D2. So he also graduated. We want to be able to find ways to connect with people like you, with him. And, you never know how everything can play out. So that's what we want to create here. But we do have about a few seconds left. I just wanted to point that out so that we can fully connect even after this with more of the people that plays from the Gambia and play basketball here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Ben, since we're short on time now, we really do appreciate your time here. Do you have any, quick final words you want to give to the next generation of Gambian basketball players?
Work on your game.